It is Canadian Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and to help with our awareness, we're joined by eating disorder specialist and founder of the Kyla Fox Centre, Kyla Fox. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So there's such a wide range of eating disorders and different treatments as well. Tell us about the Kyla Fox Centre first up.
The Kyla Fox Centre is a private eating disorder outpatient recovery center, which now, as a result of COVID, operates fully virtually. So we can access treatment for people all over Ontario and Canada and the world, depending upon the kinds of services that you need. And what that does now is that it gives access to people to actually integrate treatment into their life. When you struggle with an eating disorder, it actually lives in your life. And so being able to integrate your recovery while you're in your life, being able to do it in the comfort of your own home, not having to take time away from work or school or pause your life to be in recovery, is actually proven to be really, really more effective for people in recovery. And we're watching people get more well more quickly.
That's great, because it's such an impact mentally, but physically as well. And malnutrition is a very serious thing, for example. Now, the lockdowns and the pandemic in general, how has that impacted things?
Well, the pandemic has had such an uprise of eating disorders. The wait lists for treatment have never been longer. The number of people suffering significantly has increased. You know, when you are relying on being out in the world and being able to be connected to the things that you love and feeling like you can navigate your life with people and your interests, when suddenly all of that is taken from you, food in the body has become such a strong place for people to feel like they can control something, or at least avoid things, or not have to feel things, or numb out from stuff. And so that's why eating disorders have become such a, prevalent pattern for people, such a prevalent place of harm during this time.
And certainly compounded by social media, right?
Yeah, social media. Well, I mean, of course, we've never spent more time on our devices either. And even though we have the ability to choose who we follow, to choose who we decide to, be influenced by and take information from, it's really, really important to remember that we don't always have the ability to be as conscious of those decisions when we're feeling vulnerable and we're not feeling good about ourselves, and we're looking for things to actually, maybe emulate or take us away from our own life. And often that can lead to really harmful messages around food in the body.
Yeah. As mentioned, there's so many different types of disorders, but generally speaking, what are some of the things to look for? And do you have tips for family, loved ones, and friends to help?
Yeah, of course. I think that when a lot of people think about eating disorders, they think about people who are very underweight and who are not eating. But in fact, that's only just a part of the spectrum of people affected by eating disorders. Most people with eating disorders cross along the spectrum of maybe restriction, binging, and purging. They flow in and out of those behaviors. And often people with eating disorders look actually very normal, whatever that may mean, but not necessarily in the stereotypical ways that we understand the way that someone would look if they had an eating disorder. And
Right.
so the signs and symptoms when you're trying to sort of help someone are not always shown in the body. That's not always the way that you could see them. So it's really important to sort of take notice of how people you love are feeling, if they're showing up to life, if they're being able to engage, if they're flat affect, if they're, not able to communicate or participate. And then I think there are things about food. You may be able to notice if people are saying they're not hungry, or they're not showing up to food, or your kids are bringing their lunches home, or maybe you're finding food in their rooms, or people are hoarding food or sneaking food.
Right.
So those are the tips to look for.
Okay. More great information and help is available at the Kyla Fox Centre. So we'll link up all your socials and website at chch.com. And thanks for helping us with awareness on this Eating Disorder Week. Thank you so much, Kyla Fox.